afternoon or evening or whenever you're watching. You've probably noticed that I'm taking a bit of time out to drink tea and post up some of the outtakes from my trip with Lee to, well, from John O'Groats to Land's End. Also, what's going on here? It's better. Also, if you're looking for a Geoff Buys Cars, genuine Geoff Buys Cars mug, this one says can't buy happiness, but you can buy a Volvo, and it's kind of the same thing. I haven't got any. So you'll have to buy one off of someone who's already bought one. I'm not very good at selling merchandise. I might eventually at some point get around to doing another batch of merch, but I'm just not very good at it. So if you've got a Geoff Buys Cars mug, they're extremely limited edition, and the market for Geoff Buys Cars mugs is about to boom because I'm not producing any more for the moment because I'm rubbish at making merchandise and shipping it out. On that, right, I've got some major concerns about the classic car market at the minute. I think we're about to see a major bombing of values on cars and classic cars in general. But whilst I'm into this sort of candid video, I've got to talk to you about depreciation. So as you well know, Lee the Mac Master and myself drove from John O'Groats to Land's End in this BMW, which I've only filled up once since then, actually. We've been running around in it as our main family car ever since. But if you watch the videos, you'll have seen that when I was doing my idle hands business at the hotel on Friday, I valued both of our cars through We Buy Any Car. Now, I was going to make a funny video about depreciation, but actually, it's really not very funny. So a couple of things have happened since we got back from our challenge, our trip. Firstly, we're both knackered from all the driving. But anyway, Lee sent me a screenshot. He got an email from Porsche. Porsche are now offering £5,000 discounts from all new Porsche Taycans. Now, when Lee bought his Taycan, there was a waiting list. He had to wait months and months and months to get the car. Now, if you want to buy a Taycan from Porsche, they will pay you £5,000 to take it out of their showroom. So they ain't selling. Porsche do not do discounts. Everybody knows this. Porsche do not discount their cars. So if Porsche are discounting their Taycans, there's clearly a major problem. Now, let's take a look at the We Buy Any Car statistics for our two cars across the duration of the trip. I've got a spreadsheet. Right. My car, when it was brand new in 2008, would have been roughly £31,600, but that's kind of irrelevant. Ignore that for the moment. On Friday, when we were at Killington Lake Services, I valued this car through We Buy Any Car, and it came up at £915. Mine is coming up at £905, but that's kind of fair enough because I only paid £2,600 for it. But Lee's is coming up at £43,485. So on Friday, the trade value, according to We Buy Any Car, £915. Today, less than a week later, with an extra 2,000 miles on the clock, £900. So my BMW has lost £15. Now, if I take Lee's Porsche, when it was new in 2021, it was near as damn it £120,000. Interestingly, and this is where it gets interesting, Lee's already done a video on this, and I've just looked at the timestamp on it. 3 months ago, Lee did a valuation on his car, and it came back at £53,235. Now, at that time, because of the way Lee had worked out the finance, that meant that he was absolutely in negative equity with the car. So that was only 3 months ago. On Friday at Killington Lake, whilst waiting for Lee, I valued Lee's car on We Buy Any Car, same way he had done 3 months previously, and it came out at £43,485. That meant that the value of Lee's car went down by £10,000 in 3 months. So Bearing in mind that I valued my car on Friday and then today, and it went down by 15 quid. How much do you think Lee's car went down in value between Friday when we were at the service station and today? It's a week later. It's Friday today. I've just realised it's Friday today. It's a week. How much has Lee's car gone down in a week? Mine went down by 15 quid. Well, we've run a value this morning, and Lee sent me this morning, actually. Lee sent this to me saying, I can't believe this. So on Friday, £43,485. Today, a week later, £40,270. So that means that Lee's car has gone down in value in a week, 3,215 quid. That means if you ignore all the charging problems and all the money, it cost Lee more in depreciation to do that trip than it cost me to do the entire trip there and back. Hang on. Including buying the car. Jesus Christ, I've just realised. It cost more in depreciation for Lee to do John O'Groats to Land's End than it cost me to buy a car, fuel it and do the journey. 3,215 quid. My car was 2,650. So even if you round it up to 2,800 quid with the diesel, that still leaves me £415 for hotels and beer. That means that's ridiculous. Not only did the BMW car do the journey cheaper, but the depreciation on the Porsche was worse than the costs for the BMW. I'm absolutely staggered. As I said, Lee and I we've sort of been concluding that is insane. So Lee now, and he doesn't mind telling you this, when we valued it today, it's £40,270. But Lee owes on the car £77,000. So the joke was, when we were making the video, oh, Lee, you could just get rid of your Porsche, just go and give it back. And the joke was that if he gave it back, they would say, thank you very much, Mr. Lee, from YouTube. To give the car back, you need to give us £20,000. But based on the maths today, it's more like £37,000. £37,000 of negative equity on Lee's Taycan. Now, yeah, it's all fun and games because Lee makes money out of his YouTube videos, and the Porsche therefore sort of helps itself by the fact that Lee makes money out of it. But what does that mean for business users that have bought Taycans through the business? What does it mean for lease companies? I mean, private buyers are absolutely screwed. If you bought a Porsche Taycan with a few options on it for 120 grand 2 years ago, right now, you're completely shafted because your car is worth a scrap of what it used to be. And maybe scrap is the right word. But also, with Porsche now discounting their new Taycans by £5,000, that's going to have a further knock-on effect of that as well. And I had a conversation with Lee this morning on the phone, and I said, I don't see it being beyond the realms of possibility that by January, the We Buy Any Car value for your car is going to start with a 2. Like, how long is it until Lee's car is valued at £29,000 on We Buy Any Car, and yet he'll still owe 70 grand on it? It's absolutely insane. Can you believe those We Buy Any Car figures? I know you can't take like a full value off of We Buy Any Car, but that is absolutely mental. How can it have lost £3,215 in a week? So there you go. That's the depreciation. I know Lee's going to be posting up on it as well. He's now taking some time out to spend some time with his family. We've been for a lovely long walk today, welly boots on and whatnot. We've got completely lost. We've ended up going over barbed wire fences. Like, if you're not jumping over barbed wire fences when you're on a family walk, are you even trying? Like, if you don't get to a point where the kids are moaning and the youngest is upset that you might be lost forever, like, again, you're not really even trying on a family walk, are you? I believe that barbed wire and crying children is a key part of a good day out for a family. So there we go, that's depreciation. I'm sort of just chilling out this weekend now. I've got the dyno day actually on Sunday. I wish I hadn't planned that for Sunday, but I didn't know that all of this was going to come together at the same time. If you're coming on the dyno day, I'm looking forward to seeing you. We've got 17 cars booked in on Sunday. Going to make sure all my phones are charged, ready for filming again. See who's got the most power, see who's got the least power, and have a little bit of a laugh. I know everybody wanted me to have some merchandise there to sell in the car, but unfortunately, I don't have any because I'm extremely disorganised. And I won't be having a stand at the Practical Classics. It's not the Practical Classics show. I haven't actually got a stand at the NEC at the moment, so I don't have any cars booked in for the Classic Car Show for next week because I don't want to pay £1,000 to display my car because I don't really sell any merchandise. So if I'm there, I'm going there to put my Renault on display, which isn't finished, and to hang out. And I'm tired. So I don't think I'll be at the NEC show to display. I will probably be there on the Friday though, to be fair. And I will be mostly on the Wizard Sports and Classics stand. I've been working with Richard from Wizard Sports and Classics this week to work out what cars he's taking. I've done some design work for him as well. So if you're on the Wizard Sports and Classics stand, walk past Richard and say, "Oh, Richard, the design of your display board is absolutely wonderful. Must have been a sheer genius that did that for you last minute." So I will be there, hopefully with a deck chair. So I'll be there on the Friday. I may still get the Renault on display, but the Renault's not ready. And there's a massive sale going on currently on Geoff Buys Cars. I'm trying to get rid of my Mercedes-Benz W124 Estate. Although I did have a really positive phone call about that car earlier on, but I think the market is absolutely about to bomb. That's what I'm hearing from auction houses who I've spoke to this week to try and book my Mercedes in to sell it. And they've basically said, we think you might get back what you paid for it, which is a shame because I was hoping to make a profit on it. But I just think people are going to sit on their hands for a bit now. I think prices are going to keep coming down. And I think if you've got an old, sensible diesel car that is cheap to run and that you love, now would be a really, really good time to keep hold of it. Last thing on values, I appreciate this has been a bit of a rambly vlog. I only paid £2,650 for this car. Lee lost £3,215. Now, the other side of that is I bought this car really, really well. It's it's an Edition M 320 diesel with 140,000 miles on the clock. Now, post up in the comments if you can find one on an equivalent spec for less than £5,000, because I can't. So it might be that I bought my car for £2,650 and actually made a profit enough to pay for the trip, because I think I could sell this car tomorrow for more than I paid for it. That would be silly because I love the car, so we're going to keep it. But the point is, it cost Lee £3,215, and I basically could have done this trip and made money out of it if I was feeling like selling the car. But go, Auto Trader, eBay, BMW E93 Series 320 diesel. It has to have heated seats, it has to have the Logic 7 sound system, and it has to have iDrive to make it equivalent. You want one with good history that's had all the recalls done, sensible number of owners in a lovely colour, and ideally an Edition M. If you find one, post it up in the comments and say, "Here, Geoff, I found one," but buy it first, because you know it makes sense. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you're having a bonfire. I hope you're having some fireworks. Yeah, and if you own an electric car, that's probably what you need right now. A bonfire and some fireworks, and then a big insurance claim. Although there's enough to be said about insurance, because the insurance thing, geez, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So we'll have a video on insurance next week. Hoping to have another challenge with Lee next week. If you have a cool car that you want to lend me to drive against the Taycan, please contact me or through all the usual channels. There was something else I was going to say then, but I have forgotten it. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching this lazy Friday shocking video. I might actually post some more outtakes of our trip as well, because I reckon I've got some stuff to post from the journey up. But make sure you subscribe to me, make sure you subscribe to Lee, and lots more cool stuff coming soon, because Lee and I are planning some big things. I will do another batch of mugs soon, I promise, as well. What do you want on them? What do you want on them? Shall I put my Renault on one? Shall I put my Renault on a mug and do a slogan and sell those? I think I'll do that. Let me know in the comments. Find me a car that I can buy that's equivalent to this. What do you think of that depreciation? Will you be at the NEC, and will you see me on Richard's stand at Wizard Classics? And do you want to buy a mug? I could see a mug. I know the first mug that I can approach to buy a mug, because he's good at throwing money away. It's my friend Lee. Thanks everyone.